All right. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tony Lopiccolo. I'm the president and CEO of the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce, and we want to welcome you to Menifee Cares Grant webinar. Today on the call, we have Gina Gonzalez, who is our Economic Development Director. We also have Cheryl Kitsero, who is the Community Development Director, and we also have Kayla Charters, also with the Economic Development Department. Our webinar today, again, is about Menifee Cares Grant. This is a new program that the city came up with. It was approved last week, and we are here to let our local businesses know about this. Later in the presentation, we will show you our new website with our toolkit in there, so please visit that as soon as possible because there is a time limit on this, and we'll go through that here shortly. The Menifee Cares Grant program is a collaboration between the City of Menifee, the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce, and HUD. So at this point, I would like to introduce our panelists. Today from the City of Menifee, the CDGB Administrator is Edna LeBron. Go ahead and wave to us, Edna.
Good morning.
And also we have from the SBDC, a business consultant, Carla Gonzalez.
Good morning.
So at this point, good morning to all. Thank you for attending. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Edna LeBron. Edna?
Well, thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm briefly going to go over the guidelines for the small business grant. So if I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And just to let you know, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me personally at 951-723-3713. That's my direct number. Or you can go ahead and email me at elebron@cityofmenifee.us. So our application process, or guidelines, I should say, they kicked off June 18th, and they end July 2nd. That's our pre-application process. And you have until 4 o'clock on July 4th to turn in your application. The maximum amount of the application is $5,000. The minimum is $1,500. Am I saying the right amount? I'm sorry. Did I say the right amount? $5,000 and $1,500. So here's a list of the ineligible costs and the ineligible applicants. I don't want to go through all of that. You can probably pick that up or go on the website later and read it more thoroughly. But I do want to talk about the pre-application process, since we have been receiving some applications and some of them are not complete for the pre-application. So as you can see, we are asking for the small business, city business license, official identification or state of identification card. If you are renting the space, it's important that you have your lease agreement and any type of documentation that's going to show that you were severely impacted by the COVID-19. The one important thing in regards to this applications is we need to make sure that you are not duplicating on the benefits. So if you're receiving any type of other small business loans or grants, it must be identified within the application itself. And then later on, we will probably be asking for verifications of those documents. And if you did receive funding for whether it's payroll, rent, whatever it may be, we will be asking for documentation on that. Once you've submitted your pre-application, we're going to be doing a lottery to make it fair for everyone. Next screen, thank you. So the application review. Once we've entered the lottery, we will do the actual application review. And at that time is when we will ask you for all your documentation. We hope to have set up our DocuTrust so that you can input all your information there and it'll be private. We didn't want you guys having to submit that via email, but it's important that you submit all the documentation so that we can go through the application thoroughly and make sure that you do qualify for this. Once you've been approved, you will sign a contract with the City of Menifee and then you'll have 90 days to spend your funds once it's been dispersed to you. You will have to show verification in regards to how you spend that funding. So it's important that you keep track of all your documentation. Next, please. So you must create at least one job in regards to this grant. There is quite a bit of information on here, and I don't want to burden you with all of it. Please read through it. And if you have any questions, please give me a call or email me. But it's important that you understand that these grants are benefiting the low moderate individuals within our community here, City of Menifee. Here is the income guidelines for 2019. Come July 1st, we will have different income guidelines, and those will be on our website. The income guidelines did go up, but as of right now, these are it. So we have like a week or so to use these, and then we'll do the new ones. But please note that the jobs that you are creating and retaining have to benefit at least 51% of the low mod income individuals within the city limits of Menifee. Next, please. Again, here's the job creation and job retention information. Please read thoroughly what it all entails. You will be having to submit to me the job titles or job created, if they truly benefited a low mod income person, or if you try but were not successful and it was given to somebody, whether it's full-time, part-time. I know it's a lot to retain, so that's why I'm asking you to just reach out to me. Next. And so the documentation down here, they will have a written certification, and I will be providing information in regards to how to submit that, or most of the time I already have those pre-set up, so no worries there. You also have, you can also get information whether they were unemployed, referral from other agencies in regards to their income qualifications. Next. So once you've been approved and you've received the funding, you will have to report and keep record keeping of all your documentations, because I will be monitoring these files, and I need to make sure that the funds were benefiting our low mod income individuals. And here's a reporting schedule on there, what type of information you can supply to me. Let's see what else. City of Menifee is marketing this program. Everything that you provide to me will be kept confidential. It is kept in a secure cabinet, so no worries there. And then the rest of the information is pretty much all HUD guidelines that we have to abide by. I know it was very quick, but if you have any questions, concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I believe Carla will be going over the application itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Edna. So the application can be located on the menifeebusiness.com website under Menifee-Cares. So you can see it there. It would be under Menifee Cares Grant, and the grant application sits right there. Right above it, you also have the guidelines that Edna went through, so you are able to download those yourself as well. When we go to the application, give me 1 second. This is the application you're going to be completing for the pre-application process. Keep in mind that it is due by July 2nd at 4 p.m. and it has to be emailed or just emailed, to Menifee Cares Grant at cityofmenifee.us. So please make sure you get it in by 4 p.m. on July 2nd to this email on the application. They will not be accepting hand-delivered applications. So please, once again, make sure you email the application by July 2nd at 4 p.m. The application itself is pretty standard. Obviously, business owner, legal name of business, if you have a DBA, quick description of your business, address, email address, contact phone number, and your EIN. Now, it does ask for a DUNS number, and if you don't have one yet, that is okay. You can get through the pre-application process. If you are selected by the lottery, then you would have to go get a DUNS number and register in SAM. At the SBDC, we are able to help you with that process at no cost. It's a quick process, takes a couple of days, and we get you taken care of for that. Make sure you also put down your total number of employees prior to March 2020, so prior COVID-19. And then currently what you have now. When you do that, you also have to identify the employees that are in Menifee. Once again, prior to March 2020, and then what you have currently as well. As you keep going through the application, like I mentioned before, basic information, length of time in business in Menifee. Are you in good standing? Is your lease current with rent through February 2020? If you're involved in a lawsuit, collection action, judgment, go ahead and disclose that there. If you filed bankruptcy within the past 7 years, go ahead and hit yes, or if not, hit no. This does not disqualify you, so just please go ahead and disclose the information. Make sure you put in there what you expect to create in terms of jobs. And then also identify the amount requested. Keep in mind, as Edna said earlier, it can be anywhere from $1,500 up to $5,000. So make sure you put in the grant amount requested in that line there. Also, the government mandates during the COVID-19 emergency, how did it affect you? So in other words, give us a concise description of how you were affected. And if you're able to provide any kind of documentation to support that, you would go ahead and add it to this application. So go ahead and be as descriptive as possible. If you have losses, don't just say you have losses, but show the profit and loss income compared to last year to this year, or show what you did from January to March and then what's happening from April to date. Once again, the SBDC can go ahead and help you with this process as well. Okay, and as you scroll down, you also have to make sure you disclose any other kinds of funds that you have received, whether it's through the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program, or the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the Express Bridge Loan, any kind of funding you received for COVID-19, please disclose them. This does not disqualify you. We just need to identify what funds you apply for, what funds you receive, so that the funds aren't duplicated in their efforts. In other words, if you received money from PPP for employment and it covered, say, March, April, and May, and you need additional fund for your payroll for June, July, and August, then we need to make sure we understand that. We need to be able to prove how that money was spent. So don't assume that just because you receive this money, you're automatically disqualified. You are not. We just have to make sure the efforts are not being duplicated with the funds. So please disclose everything on this section. On the lower part of this same application, it's going to go ahead and ask you, how do you intend to use the funds? Are you going to intend to use maybe for 1 month's rent, for payroll, for PPE, materials, equipment? How do you plan to use it? So if you're going to ask for $1,500, this amount needs to total $1,500. It needs to match what's on the prior page. Okay. If you're going to ask for $5,000, then you need to break it down so it totals $5,000 here as well. Okay. Once you get through that, you go ahead, read the disclaimer, put your name, sign it, and make sure you go ahead and also attach to your application a copy of the City of Menifee business license, a copy of the state ID card, a copy of your lease agreement, and documentation that the business was adversely impacted by COVID-19 during the pandemic. And like I mentioned, that can be tax returns, financial statements, anything to prove that you were impacted. If you had contracts that you had in place that were canceled because of it, that can also be provided as evidence. Lastly, you would go ahead and acknowledge that you understand the pre-application is on a lottery basis. So you would go ahead and sign it, scan it all together in one attachment over to the website on the front page. But if you have any questions, go ahead and email Miss Edna directly, and she would be able to answer any of your questions. As I stated earlier, if you need any help completing any part of this, the SBDC can help you at no cost, and we walk you through the entire application to make sure it is completed before it goes off to Edna. That is it on my end.
All right. So just to provide the contact information of who to contact that's overseeing this program within the city, we have, again, Ms. Carla Gonzalez with SBDC. This service is provided to all of our businesses at no cost to them through our B3 program with the City of Menifee's Economic Development Department in collaboration also with our Chamber of Commerce. Again, we have Kayla Charters, who is our business ombudsman through the Economic Development Department, who's able to assist you as well. And then again, as we've been talking, Miss Edna LeBron, who oversees the CDBG program for the city of Menifee, of which this grant is administered through. So this is the contact information that you guys should take a screenshot. It's available on our website, and it's also available in the guideline packet as well. And then I would say, just to clarify again, so Ms. Carla, you did mention about the grant itself and the different resources that are available to some of our businesses. If they have, used maybe one of the other resources for rent or payroll, and now they have this added cost of they've opened up and they're spending money on furniture and PPPs or PPEs, and anything else that they would need to safely operate their business. Are those eligible expenses?
Yes. So the thing that we need to know is we just have to make sure we do not duplicate efforts. So if you need to be PPE compliant, you can use those funds for that. If you receive PPP, make sure you just use that for payroll. And if you're able to use it for rent, use it for rent. The Menifee Cares grant, you can use it for PPE, excuse me, so many acronyms.
I know.
PPE, for the business to be up to par in order to be able to open up safely.
Okay. And then Miss Edna, could you explain again, the lottery process just a little bit so people understand that just submitting a pre-application doesn't guarantee their position with a grant, so to speak, as well, depending on how many are received?
As many applicants in here, then we'll do the lottery. The lottery is when it will be determined, it'll be randomly. We will not personally be choosing, but it'll be a random lottery. And at that point, whoever gets chosen will be hopefully funded, not necessarily as well, because determined in regards to their application in itself. But basically that's it.
I think that was an awesome move, because first come, first serve. Usually people, by the time they find out about a grant or opportunities for funding for their business, a lot of times if you're not the first one in, then you're left, stranded looking for additional opportunities for revenue. And this just leveled, the playing field, so to speak, for everybody within that time period. So do you know how quickly people would hear back from the department, Edna, once the July 2nd closing occurs?
So when it closes July 2nd, I have to get together with finance in regards to, and yourself actually, to see how fast we can do this lottery. So hopefully within a week's time, no longer than that, I hope. So
okay. That's very encouraging. And then I think the last question that I had again was they were asking again the closing date, and the closing date is July 2nd. And then I had another question regarding about nonprofits, if nonprofits were eligible.
Nonprofits are not eligible at this time. No, they're not. It's just for profits.
So, and then to answer that as well, the County of Riverside is coming out on July 1st with a grant opportunity for nonprofits. So we'll send that out on our constant contact with the City of Menifee. We'll advertise that on our social media platforms. And again, we'll also advertise that in the business toolkit that's available on the Menifee Cares website as well. And again, our Chamber of Commerce is always sending information out. So if you've not connected with Tony and his team, that's another opportunity to get that information. So we're throwing info at you every which way that's possible, just to make sure that you're getting what you need in order to be successful in Menifee. So with that, that's all the questions that I saw that came across. And if there isn't any more, I'll kick it back over to Tony.
And I also want to thank our speakers today, Edna LeBron and Carla Gonzalez. To our businesses out there in Menifee, this is a great opportunity, again, to get some funding during this unprecedented time, during this COVID-19 pandemic. Great opportunity. The city, thank you for stepping up and doing this for our businesses. As Gina mentioned, you can give us a call here at the Chamber office. We're open and here to support our businesses. You can always give us a call at 951-672-1991. You can ask for me. Our information is also on the website, our website. I will be posting this information on our website. We already sent a constant contact out, and I already did an email blast to all of our members. So if there's anything you need from the Chamber, please give us a call. If I don't have the answer, I'll roll it up to Gina, and she'll get us the right answer. So at that point, if there's no other questions or other presentations, I'd like to again thank everybody for joining us today. And hopefully you all have a great day and be successful out there and be safe. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.